stretch. Side. Your stretch. Box. Time. Box. Change. Extension. 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 8 seconds. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Rotation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Thanks. Next. Relay panic. Relay from nose. Hands up. Come up on toe. Continue stretch. Slowly go down. Knee straight. Both opposite knees. Come out. Make it from nose. Hands up. Stretch it and slowly go down without from your mouth. You should be straight. Come out again. Down, out. Again. Up. Last one. Again. Down, out. Relax. Spread your legs. And straight. Body plan footage. 30 counts. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Each side, please. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Max. H. Ankle rotation. 5 times clockwise. 5 times anti-clockwise. Clockwise. Watch out. legs. Twisting. Okay. Stop. Walk around. Deep breathe in. Focus on your breathing. Breathe in from nose and out from your mouth. Keep breathing. Follow the breathing pattern. Breathe in from nose and out from your mouth. So guys, today we are doing Pilates workout. Okay, let's start.
Okay, so let's start with the session. First and foremost, important thing is that as you understand, most of the exercises that you will be doing in Pilates is in a lying down position on your back. So you need to understand that activation and straightening of your spine is the most important aspect that you need to work when you do Pilates. So just to give you a simple example and how you can straighten your spine while you're lying down on your back. So what you can do is just put one hand beneath the back area. Okay, as you can see, the knees are bending. Right now we kept the knees in a bending position so that you can feel this tilt in a better way, and all you have to do is just try to lift your pelvis a little bit, putting the pressure on your hands while you're doing that. Well, as you start putting pressure on your hands and try to straighten the spine, the back will be touching all the more to the mat, and this is how you will be achieving the straightening of the spine. So what I want you to do is tuck your tummy in, press onto your hands which you have placed under the back. Okay, and just raise your pelvis a little bit. It's hardly any movement, but it is just to neutralize the complete back position. Now we will do the same thing with the knee straight. Okay, now we will get the knees straight. I want you to remove your hand from the back. Okay, now feel the movement in the same way how you did. Remove your hand from the back area, keep your hand straight now, and you have to perform the same movement where you will actually focus from your umbilicus and push all the pressure down to the spine area. Okay, where you will be, as you're putting a pressure down to the spine area, feel the focus around the abdominal area and try to straighten the spine as much as possible. This is the basic movement of Pilates, and if we don't get this movement correct, we will not be able to achieve other movements that are required in Pilates. Okay, now as you are straightening the spine, a little bit of pelvic tilt has to happen where your pelvis has to move a little up so that it neutralizes the spine further. So let's do that at least for about 5 times. Okay, press it down, count for 10, and then slowly relax. Yes, as you can see, there is a clear contraction happening when Deepak is doing this exercise and he's trying to get the contraction of the abs. So it clearly shows that this is a movement that you need to constantly keep doing whenever you are raising your legs up, whenever you're putting your legs down, while doing this different movements of the Pilates. So this is a very, very basic thing that you need to understand. Once you understand this basic aspect, only then we can perform all the movements. So let's do this. Deepak, we can give some counts here.
One, two, three, four, five, and six.
Okay, so the next movement we can start with tapping now. So we will start with something called tapping, which is done in Pilates. Okay, it's normally 100 taps that you do, but what I will suggest for people who are beginners, they can even start with 25 to 50 taps and then only go on to the 100. Okay, because doing the 100 in the first instance itself will be a little difficult, and the good idea is that to understand the position. So here, this is the position right now. Your knee is bending to 90 degrees, and if you can see the neck has to be straight. Okay, it doesn't have to bend forward. For people who have neck problem, if you tend to bend your neck further, you will feel that there is an experience of pain while you're doing Pilates. So it's not because of that, it's not because of Pilates, it's because your position is wrong. So make sure your neck is straight, it is parallel, but it is raised up. It is only raising up, it is going up, and then you start the tapping movement, which starts from the shoulder. Okay, let's start the tapping movement. Now as you see, now we are tapping. We are doing this movement from the shoulder. Elbow is absolutely straight, the hands are absolutely straight, and we are doing this movement which comes exactly from the shoulder. Okay, now there is a breathing pattern that needs to be followed while you are doing this movement, and the breathing pattern is 2 breaths in and 1 breath out. So Deepak, can you just put up the breathing pattern and show them?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
breathe in. Relax right now.
As you can see, the breathing is 2 breaths in and 1 breath out. So it's like this is how you actually perform the breathing pattern while you are doing the tapping, and you also keep counting the number of taps that you have done. Now let's say, for example, you have finished with 50 taps. So once you're done with the taps, what you're supposed to do is get your knee straight and then just relax it down. Okay, so this completes your 1 count of complete tapping. Okay, now whether you're doing a 50 tap, whether you're doing a 100 tap, doesn't matter. What matters is how is the complete count going on. So this count is very, very important. Okay, so let's now start with a 100 tap completely. Okay, right from the starting, right from the beginning to the end, and then we will show you some variations in this position. Okay, so let's start. Once again, we'll do it at 90 degrees. Yeah, now as you can see, the knee is bending to 90 degrees, the hip is bending to 90 degrees, the ankle is neutral, rather the toes are pointing upward. This is very, very important. This is precision. This is precision in Pilates. The reason for you to have a neutral ankle is that you are having contraction from every area of your body. You are consciously making contractions and you are trying to be very, very precise. You can see the move, you can see the position of the neck. It is absolutely straight, parallel, but raised a bit. It is not bending forward, so don't confuse this as bending forward. And then let's start the tapping. You can count for 100 with the breathing pattern. So you can go on, guys, with a count of 50 for the beginners. The regular ones can easily do 100, but make sure you follow this position. This position is very, very important. Your neck is still parallel but raised onto the floor. The knee is bending to 90 degrees, toes pointing upwards. The breathing pattern is like sniffing. 2 breaths in, 1 breathe out. 2 breaths in, 1 breathe out. This is how you perform the breathing pattern. And the movement of tapping comes from the shoulder. Okay, it doesn't come from the elbow. You don't have to move your elbow, you don't have to move your upper body. You have to constantly focus on specific movements. Don't forget the principles of Pilates: precision, flow, concentration, control, focus. All these are important. So that's how we complete one more set. Now, as you see, when we are about to conclude the set, it's very important that you don't just drop down your leg. Okay, you straighten your knees and slowly come down. If you drop down your leg, it only means that you're losing control. You do not have control of your pelvis area, and you're just dropping down by putting the knees down. So that should not be a good sign. See, it's absolutely okay if you cannot do it perfectly. What is more important is catching up the start and end of every movement. Once you understand this, the tapping can be done easily. That's not a problem. So let's now start with a variation here. Yes, you can go ahead. Which variation are we doing now? So we did 90 degrees. Now what we are doing is, now the knees are extended. If you see in the initial set, we had the knees bent. This time we are extending the knees. Okay, and start. Yes. So this will be a relatively difficult position. And the same movement continues with the same amount of tapping, whether it is 50, whether it is 100. That is up to if you're a beginner or if you are a experienced person who's doing fitness on a regular basis, working out on a regular basis. As you keep doing the tapping, 100 taps, and then slowly get your legs down. So this is how we perform tapping, and there are 3 different variations that we are going to put up. First variation was where we had the knee and the hip bent to 90 degrees. Okay. The next variation was where the knee was extended but the hip was bent to 90 degrees. Now the third variation is where we are keeping the knee extended not at 90 degrees but at 45 degrees. Okay. So let's start with the movement. Knee, ankles a little closer. Okay, instead of keeping your legs wide, try to keep it closer so that your center of gravity is maintained and you have the right lever system working for you. Okay, and then you start tapping. Well, this will be one of the most difficult position, because obviously you have changed the lever completely, and now you will see that it is getting a little more difficult for you to understand. But you can try. You can do a little more taps on this. Maybe around 25 to 50 taps are also good. And again, when you drop the leg, go slow. Don't just throw it down. Okay. Yes, so that was tapping for you. Now normally this is called the 100, where you do these taps for 100 count. Whether it is with knee bent, whether it is with knee straight, or it is at 45 degrees. All these 3 positions you can actually do it at 100. So it is a good idea to start with maybe 50 taps, but try to come to 100 as soon as possible, maybe in second or the third week, and then you can continue this 100 in the multiple sets, which could be 100, 200, 500, depends on that. For all the people who are taking up the My Wellness Hub challenge, your workout for Pilates starts from Wednesday. Till then you are supposed to do whatever workouts we have been telling you to do for the last 7 days, and once you're done with that, you'll be starting with Pilates. We'll be sharing the plan with you on Wednesday, and you'll be doing Pilates from Wednesday. Okay, so let's start with the next movement, Deepak.
Next is connect leg raises.
This is a position of plank, wherein you are further trying to challenge the stability by raising the hips, and this is an excellent workout for your lower abs. Okay, it's very important to position yourself properly. Your weight bearing should be correct when it comes to shoulders, elbow and the wrist. The head should be in a neutral position, not bending too much or extending too much, because that will start putting a lot of strain on your neck area. Your back should be in a neutral position, and even the pelvis should be in a neutral position. It should not slack down, because the moment it slacks down, you will not be able to lift your hips. Okay, and once you start raising your hip, you can have a count of 10 or maybe even 20 per leg. 10 is actually good for a beginner, because 20 will be a little harsh on you. So 10 counts both sides, and then you relax slowly. So this is another workout that you can do to improve your core muscles. Yes, can we do this once more, Deepak?
Yes, sure.
Yeah, so check the position once more, and I want you to do along with Deepak. Okay, on your elbows, wrist, pelvis in neutral position, and raise your legs as much as possible, but in the same line, same body line. Your legs don't have to go outside. Okay, it has to be in the same body line. For all those who are watching us live, hi, hello everyone. Hope you guys are working out with us. Do keep sharing your comments and let us know if you're enjoying this workout. Yes. Okay, so let's go on to the next one.
Next is
So this again as a variation to start off. This is one set that we did. You can actually include about 4 to 5 sets in your regular workout regime, because this is just one set that we did. So 10 raises for every leg, and then coming down slowly. So that will make it one set. We can obviously introduce about 4 to 5 sets, and then even go ahead with about 8 to 10 sets. Yes, go ahead, Deepak.
next is alternate calf touch. Both legs in the air.
So the next exercise is the calf. As you can see, the position is more like tapping. Okay, now the upper body is raised, the neck is also raised up, but it is not in an excessive bending position. So that's something which you need to understand. And now what you do is you start moving the legs like scissor. Okay, and hold on to the calf. Yes, hold on to the calf, and then you hold on to one side, and then you go to the other side. You should try and touch your calf, and then once you're done with 10 counts on both the sides, close the leg slowly, and then just let it go down easily. Yes, Renu, hope you're working out with us, not just remembering the days. For all the members in the webinar here, you can follow at least 5 sets. For all the members in the webinar here, you can follow 5 sets, a minimum of 5 sets, because you have been doing this workout regularly. Okay, can we do one more set, Deepak? Yes. Check out the movement, the calf raises. So we raise and try and touch the calf with our hands. 10 counts both sides, and once you're done, you close the legs down and then slowly get them down. This process of going your legs slowly itself shows your control over the lower abs, and that's very, very important. Most of the time, this is the mistake that I have seen with a lot of people, where once they are done with the count, they feel they're done with the complete exercise, and they just throw their leg down. Well, this is where the importance of control comes into picture, and it's very important that you follow this in the right way. Yeah, go ahead. Next one, Deepak. So guys, have you been doing, the people in the webinar? Hope you're finishing up your counts, because we are going slow with a lot of explanation, and I'm sure you're taking this time to finish up your sets. Yeah, go ahead.
Next is obliques.
Yeah. So the next workout is obliques, where you are doing a knee bending. At the same time, the hands are just behind the neck area, with your elbows bent, and your target is to touch on to the knees. Touch to the knees from both sides and activate your obliques. Okay, so you do this like a 5 count on each side, and then again without fail slowly put your legs down. From around 20 degrees you can slowly put it down. Right, so can we do this once more? Yeah. Hope all the members on watching us live are doing this with us. Yes, go ahead, come on. Yeah, opposite knee, opposite elbow, try and touch it. Your movement should not be jerky. Okay, your movement should be controlled, your movement should be easy. When I watch it exactly, I should really feel that you're not struggling so much. At the same time, you can see the knees are, once you're done with the complete set, straighten your knees and put them down slowly. Yeah, let's do the next one.
Next is side plank.
So if you remember, in the first session we have already done plank with you, okay, where we have shown you how exactly a plank is done, how is the weight bearing placed, and what is the ideal way of doing a plank, and how you can actually progress in a plank. Now in this exercise we are doing a side plank, where we are putting the weight on the sides instead of putting it directly. We are putting it on the sides now. Okay, so this is basically a modification in the plank and a little more challenging. Yeah, so as you can see now, the shoulders and the elbows are in the straight line for the left hand, with the weight on the wrist also. The right hand is absolutely straight, and the weight here below, near the ankle, below the knee, it's more on the ankle area, and the legs are one on the other. Okay, so it's like, if you can see, the right leg is on top of the left leg. So at times, if you find this movement too difficult, what you can do is you can take the right leg forward, okay, and you can increase your base of support just a little forward, so that we can take it a little back, Deepak. This base of support is too high. Reduce that base of support. So then what you can do is you can just take your right leg forward and then increase the base of support if you find this a little difficult, because it is a progression. It's not possible that you will achieve the exact precision that we are talking about right on the session 1. It's absolutely fine. What you need to do is understand the modification and gradually progress. And in this position you can actually raise the leg, then you can reduce the distance between both the legs and eventually try to get your right leg on top of the left one. The same thing can be done on the other side. Don't forget to do this activity on the right side also, because this will actually become a both side plank, because the weight bearing is changing here. Yeah, raise it up. As you can see, this is a very effective exercise for obliques. For all the people who have issues in the oblique area, side plank is one of the most effective workout. Now this is a difficult position. Now what Deepak can do is just raise the left leg a little ahead and try to increase the base of support, so that it makes a little easy for people who are doing it for the first time. Yeah, and then you raise it up. Absolutely. And hold this position for 30 seconds. Eventually you can try and improve your timing by 60 seconds. So this was side plank. I hope you guys enjoyed the side plank. You know what, we need photographs or videos of you guys working out, so keep posting it below the comments. In the comment section, keep posting your photographs so that we know that you guys are working out. Yes, we can take a break of 30 seconds here. Okay, you might be a little tired. So how is it going with the people in the webinar? Hope you're enjoying, guys. Enjoying with explanation. Also, for all the people who are following us on this challenge regularly, and probably for the new ones who are watching us for the first time, let me tell you, we have put up a 1-month challenge on My Wellness Hub, where we are sharing with you all the workouts that needs to be done on a daily basis. We are also coming up with live sessions on every Saturday and sometimes even on Wednesday, where we are talking about what sort of workout you need to do, give you a clarity on these workout, and so that you can follow it up and simply follow this live sessions, and I'm sure you will get a good amount of results. Besides that, if you have registered with our link, you will also get mails for these plans on a regular basis. In case you do not have an idea about the registration, you can register on drsudarshan.co/wellness. It is already put up as an announcement on the top of the page. You can check out the link there and register accordingly. So can we start, Deepak?
Yes, sir. Sure.
Go ahead.
Next is Pilates.
Okay, now what we are doing is basically activation for lower abs through scissor. So basically what we are doing is simple movements in long lever for the legs. Okay, as you can see, the rest of the body is resting, the head is resting, the shoulders and wrist are completely resting. All we are doing is trying to activate the lower abs as much as possible. So 10 counts for each side, toes pointing upwards, and then slowly putting your legs down. In case you find it very difficult to raise your legs to 10 counts, you can do it to 5. If you find it difficult raising it to a great height, you can put it to a lesser height, but try to do the movement properly. Do not compromise with the movement. Okay, let's start. Yes, Deepak, go ahead. Yeah, move your legs. So you can see the movement of the legs. It is a completely controlled movement. We are not looking at just doing gross movements and trying to achieve whatever is possible. That's not going to give you the kind of control you're looking at when it comes to doing Pilates. And then once you're done with the movements, slowly get down with a complete control on closing the set. Okay, so the members in the webinar, hope you all are doing these counts. Great. Yes, thank you Shampa, thank you Nalini, thank you Narottam, thank you guys for watching, and thank you for doing these exercises and following the explanations. Yes, it's very important to understand what you're doing through body, because I'm a little concerned about the kind of experts we are having around, and who are simply trying to show certain exercises which you're not sure if it is relevant or not relevant for you. And ultimately it's very important to understand the science of an exercise, not just how it is done, because a monkey is more flexible, but that doesn't mean that you will become a monkey. It's very important that why is it important for you to do that exercise. Is it okay to keep your hand below the back? When, Vaishali, when do you want to keep the hand below the back? In this movement, try not to do that. Yes, it is like more like a compensation, because what happens is that, Deepak, can you just follow this instruction and just do this one? So basically what happens is that don't put your hands below, don't put your hands behind, just हाथ मत डालो उधर, हाथ निकालो पहले बैक से. So what you can do basically, yes, a lot of times it happens that when you're supposed to raise the leg, it puts up a lot of effort on your lower abs and the lower back also. I mean, because your lower abs are weak, you tend to start working from your back. Okay, now just to give a little bit of support to your back, yes, you can put the hands below your back and try to compensate on that movement, but make sure that as you improve your training, as you improve your fitness, remove that hand eventually. Okay, and try to use your core strength in order to strengthen the back. I hope you understand the importance of this straightening the spine. Yes, let's do the next one, Deepak.
Next is scissors.
Next is we just finished scissors, right? Yeah. Okay, so this is again a movement where we are doing, initially the hip movement which we did was simply up and down, which was flexion and extension of the hip. Okay, now in this movement we are actually doing abduction and induction, which is again, it's more effective for obliques, okay, where we are trying to take the legs out and inside, and it is in a scissor fashion, okay, where we are crisscrossing with the legs. It requires a good amount of activity from the lower abs. It is absolutely okay to keep your range limited in the beginning and then eventually improve on that. That's absolutely fine, but this is a very, very effective exercise for your lower abs. Let's do that once again.
Yeah. Sure.
Yes. Yeah, cross your legs, okay. Try to get a better range. The better range you have, a better firing of lower abs, okay, and it is going to give you a better muscular better activity there, okay. So try to have a better range of your the hips. Of course, in the beginning it is not possible. As you improve on this workout, try to improve the range. Yeah. And yes, then most important is concluding the set. Once you conclude the set, once you get the legs closer, and then slowly dropping it down to the ground. Next
is reverse plank.
So now we are doing something called a reverse plank, okay. In the last week we had done plank and we had shown you about all the activities of plank. This time we are going to change the whole weight bearing pattern, okay. Rather it will be more on the reverse side. So let's do that. So you can check the position. Most of the weight bearing is completely on your hands, and then it comes onto your heels. The back is absolutely straight. There should be no slacking of the back. Your back should not just keep pulling down. Yes, there are high chances that it can pull down, but yes, you have to try and control that movement. Make sure your back is absolutely straight, head pointing upwards, knee is extended, toes are a little up, and the hands, you can see the position of the hands. You can see the position of the hands in this case. It won't be a good idea to have your hands on the sides or maybe backwards. This is the ideal position where you can have your weight bearing in a most easiest way. So this is one position which you can try, the reverse side plank, and we can do this once more. You can start off with a timing of about 30 seconds and then gradually progress to it. So don't feel that even if we are doing this session for you live, even if you take up 50% of whatever we are doing, though whatever we are teaching you is just very, very basic, but if as a beginner, if you find this difficult, you can always do very, very basic count. Just understand doing it once or twice, and that should be good enough. And then you can keep following this video and progressively try to improve on your counts. Okay, can we do this once more, Deepak? Reverse plank. Once again, check the movement. Yeah. Raising the pelvis completely up. The base of support is wide from the hands, okay? And from the ankle, we should try to close it as much as possible, okay? And then coming down slowly. So keep a track of the number of times, or rather the duration that you are doing this plank for, because that itself is a progression. Okay, when you improve on your timing in this position, that itself becomes a progression for you. So what is the next exercise, Deepak?
Next exercise is jackknife.
Right. Okay, now like you can see, this is an activation of upper and lower abs both, but a lot of times people end up doing compensation. So what you need to do is keep your hands and legs absolutely close to the body. feel your body as one single line. Don't try to widen up your legs or don't try to widen up your hands. The more you do that, you will find that exercise more difficult. Okay, so keep your hands closer to the body, legs closer to the body, and your target is to actually touch to your ankle. You have to come up from both sides. You have to come up from your upper abs, you have to come up from your lower abs, and then try and touch your ankle without placing too much of stress on your neck. Okay, don't try to lift your neck. You are basically lifting your upper body, you're not lifting your neck. A lot of people who have neck pain tend to complain a lot after Pilates session, and it's not because Pilates is causing this pain, it's because you're doing most of these positions in a wrong way. You need to keep your neck in a neutral position all the time, and all that effort has to come from the scapula. It all has to come from the upper back. Yes, so it's good to have a 20 counts of these. Okay, you can do about 20 counts of this and eventually progress further. As you can see, the coming up and going down, it's completely controlled. There is no sudden movement happening, or we are not just throwing the movement at any point of time and letting the body just fall down. So there is a proper control which is required. Can we do that once more, Deepak? Yes, raise it up, very nice. As you can see, there is an effort from the upper as well as lower abs. Okay, and what is the next exercise that we are doing?
Side plank hip raises.
Are we done with all the Pilates in back position, supine position, oblique, calf, tapping?
Next is side plank hip raises.
Okay, side plank and hip raises. Now we did plank, side plank, okay, in the beginning. So now this is a modification to side plank where you are actually focusing more on obliques. Okay, so what you do is that get your shoulders exactly in line with the elbow, make sure your weight bearing is clear, and then with the other hand on the oblique, you go down and come up where your weight bearing near the lower leg area is one ankle on top of the other. But if you find this difficult, maybe you can just shift your ankle a little bit and increase the base of support so that you find that a little more easy. So it's okay if your ankle is not one on the other, but maybe a little forward and backward, and then when you do this movement of the oblique, you will find this easier because there is a wide base of support. Yes, and this is where you have to increase or improve your obliques by doing this particular activity. Yes. So we do this about 20 counts for both sides. I hope you are doing this in the right way and getting your counts correct. Don't forget to share your photographs or even a video in the comment section. Yes. Can we do the next one? So what about the guys in the webinar? Srirang, yeah, you need my commentary more often. Yeah, it's important to understand exercise and not just do it. Yes. Yes, Deepak, next one. Can we do the next one?
Yes, sir.
Yep. So we are doing stretches now, or we are doing the next exercise?
Stretches.
Okay, so we will. So this is the set of exercises that we have done today. Let's just brief up before doing this, Deepak. Okay, before starting the stretches, let's just have a briefing of what all we did. So we started with tapping session today. Okay, we did a tapping with 45 degrees, 90 degrees, and hip and knee in 90 degrees. Okay, these are the three positions that we have done. Then we did a calf holding onto the calf in the supine position only. Supine is basically lying down on your back, okay? And then we did the oblique, where you have you're touching your elbows, your hands are on the neck, and you're touching opposite elbow and the opposite knee. Most important thing about Pilates is whichever movement you do, the beginning and end of the movement should be controlled. It should not look as if you're trying to focus on the exact movement which happens during the exercise, and you don't even take care about how to get into that position and how to really close that position. Rather, that is a more important thing, because when you activate your muscles and when you close the position and try to relax, this is where you do the right kind of activation. The activity which is probably tapping or probably even holding onto the elbows, this is the flow of the movement, but the precision and control happens as you start and as you end. So make sure that this is something which is followed. So we did tapping, we did obliques. Deepak, check whatever position activities we have done, and if I'm missing something. Then we did obliques, then inside we did side plank, okay, and then we also did scissors in two position. That is, scissor one position was simply by moving the hands, moving the legs up and down, and the other position where we are moving the legs in an abduction and an adduction position, which where we are taking it outside and inside. So this was the other position that we did, where we are taking it outside and inside. Both has a different effect. One is for the lower abs, obviously, and the abduction and adduction makes you this is more felt on the oblique area, okay. And then we had anything else that I missed out, Deepak? Or it's all done? Side plank, yeah. In side plank again we did something called raising the moving the obliques, so that actually helps you to further impact. This is what we did in side plank, moving the oblique up and down, okay. So let's now start with the stretches, because once you do so much of firing from your abs, once you do so much of activity from your abs, it's very important that you do stretches, okay. Because if your stretches are not done properly, probably the muscles around your lower abs will be sore, and you will really struggle for the next 2 or 3 days. A lot of people just focus on the workout, and once they're done with the workout they just vanish. Well, that's not a great idea. It's very important that once you're doing your workout, make sure you also do the stretches. So follow the stretches. Let's start with the stretches. So we have a lot of people joining in. Hi Deepak, how are you? Hi, Kameshwari is already there. Hi Nisha. Hi everyone on live sessions. And yes, we have some question also. Yeah, okay. In fact, you are open for questions. People in the webinar and people on the live session, you're open for questions. In fact, we can have a question and answer session once we are done with the practicals also, but you can always put in which I can see and accordingly answer. Yes, go ahead, Deep.
Okay. Stretches. Bhujangasana first.
So most of the stretches that you're doing in Pilates is actually focused on stretching the abdominal areas, okay. So now this is what we are doing, Bhujangasana for extension of the spine and stretching on to the anterior abdominals. As you can see, the knee is supported here. For beginners this is a good position, but eventually if you want to further improve the stretch, you can get that weight bearing onto the toes, get that support off from the knees, and this will improve your extension further. Okay, hold this position for about 25 to 30 seconds. That's a good idea to stretch for whatever activity you're doing, and repeat this for at least 3 counts, a minimum of 3 counts. Let's do that once more, Deepak. Yeah, see the position of your hands, elbows and the shoulder, they're all in a straight line. If you tend to get your hands forward, okay, you are further stretching the base of support, because of which you will never get your spine into extension. It's very important that your hands are exactly below the shoulder, okay. So once they are exactly below the shoulder, you can come up and extend your spine the right way. Yes, the next one.
Next one is Dhanurasana.
Yeah. So as you can see, we are doing a lot of yoga poses for stretching. Well, that's because when you're specifically working on the core area, these are some of the poses which are very relevant when it comes to stretching. Okay, so we do Dhanurasana, where we can hold on to the ankle and then raising up as much as possible, stretching the upper abs, partly stretching the quadriceps also. If you're bending the knee properly, you will also be stretching the triceps. And again, yes, you're definitely stretching your hands, because when you're holding on your shoulders with your ankle, for all the tapping that you have done, for all the elbow exercises that you have, it's very important that you stretch your shoulders too. Yep. Once more, check out the position and try and do it. I want you all to follow this, not just follow or see, but do it. Okay, let's come to the next stretch.
Stand up. Back extension.
You can go a little back, Deepak. If you can go a little more back, yeah, better. Yes, that's okay. Yes, surely we can have a stretching session. Maybe we can just plan another Saturday workout with exclusive stretching session, because flexibility is one aspect that we have been completely, neglecting. A lot of people from 35 plus have essentially flexibility problems, but that is something which you're not at all focusing when it comes to workout. Yeah, let's do this. Deepak, go ahead. Yeah. So now we are doing some exercises again in stretches again in standing position. We are doing extension again. Well, we just did extension in prone, and this is in standing. So you need to get your movement correct even when you're doing this extension position. A lot of people just stretch their upper back and feel that the stretching is already done. So you can see the movement is actually coming from the lower back. The upper back is rather in a neutral position, and there is no excessive bending of the knee. A lot of times I've seen extension, most of the people do it as if they're actually bending from the knee, and they feel that they are extending their back, which is not the case. So we don't need excessive knee bending. We need a proper extension which has to come from the lower back area.
Next is oblique stretch.
We stretch the obliques in this position by sideways stretching. We have done a lot of activity from the abdominal, we have done a lot of activity from the oblique. It's very important that we stretch the muscles. You can hold on to this position for about 20 to 25 seconds ideally, so that can give you a nice stretch, and repeat all these movements for at least 3 times. We are showing this to you just to give you an exact expectation of what is required to be done. Okay, so the counts should be managed by you, and make sure you do at least 3 counts of all these stretches.
Next is neck stretches.
Yes. Neck stretches. Neck stretches are very important. Like, even if you feel that you have your neck was always neutral when you're raising your upper back, it doesn't mean that you have not done any active from the neck. In fact, the fact that you have to get your neck in neutral position also requires a lot of contraction from the cervical muscles. Now, once your cervical muscles have been activated all this while, it's important to also stretch them, and that's where stretching of neck muscles is required.
Chin up. and up. Right down. Thanks. Thanks,
Done? Okay, so now if you have any questions, people in the webinar or people who are watching us live, put in your questions so we can answer these questions, and we can have some more discussions. Thank you so much, Deepak, for this workout, and I hope you guys have really liked the workout and you will be doing this. Now it's important that you do these workouts, okay? Just watching is not going to help. You got to be an action taker and make sure it can't get better than this. I mean, you're getting a live session absolutely, on every Saturday. All you have to do is just get logged in and be in a comfortable, attire, and then just come and work out with us. So it can't get better than this. So make sure you make the most of this. Yes, I think we have some questions. So guys, before you leave the group from the webinar, can you explain the spine straight exercise? Yes, we can do that. So the spine straightening exercise. Okay, Deepak, can you just lie down? We just do a little bit of demo. Can you just lie down on your back? So like you can see, when Deepak is lying down on his back, okay, normally for anyone who is overweight or who is obese will not have a straight curvature, okay, or you will not be able to support the lower part of your back. That's because there is a certain amount of curvature that is developed and that portion never touches the floor. And this is what makes your exercise difficult, or this is what makes your spine straightening difficult. But it's very, very important to get your spine in a neutral position. Normally what happens is that what we call is straightening of the spine, which is in terms actually loss of lordosis, which causes straightening of the spine because of this bad posture. So what we are doing here is we are actually getting the spine in neutral position by doing that activity. Now, simple way of doing this, if you have to really make yourself realize, is put your hands below your back. In the back area, the curve which you see, or the maximum amount of gap that you see in the lower abs area, just put your hands below that, okay? And then maybe to begin with, you can have your knees bent, okay, because if you keep your knees straight, you may not be able to understand how exactly you are tilting your pelvis. So keep your knees in a bent position with your feet supported completely. Now what you have to do is, from the umbilicus or from the abdominal area, put your weight down to your hands, okay, press your tummy to your hand. Now this is where you will straighten your spine, okay, this is where you will try to improve the position of your spine. Okay, so now press on from your abs down to the hands, and then just lift your pelvis a bit. Well, this movement of pelvis is nothing but to further improve the position of the spine, okay. So this will really help you to get this is essentially one of the exercises which we actually do for back pain also, and it's very, very effective, because most of the time 90% of your problems in back pain is because of a bad posture. 90% of your problems when it comes to pain is related to exercises, not because the exercise was not correct or it was not meant for you. It was 90% of the time is because you didn't do that exercise properly, or you didn't go by the details. So this is what you do here. Now you press onto the tummy, just put one hand and thoda sa bahar, haath thoda sa bahar, yes, and then press on to your tummy, as you can see, and then a little bit of pelvic tilting, where you're raising the pelvis a little bit. Yes, this will basically help you to neutralize the spine further. Okay, so hope this explanation was good enough for you. Well, any more questions? If we have, let us know. I'm open to questions and happy to help you. Great. So next time when you do Pilates, make sure you understand the principles required and the importance of precision, focus, control, posture, relaxation, and breathing. All these things are very, very important when it comes to doing Pilates. So next time when you do it, make sure you do it in a very, very precise way. I would, instead of saying serious, I would say it's more in a precise way. And for all the people following us in the My Wellness Hub, make sure you are following these workouts. This is a month span. You know that the lockdown is extended further. Instead of thinking about what to do, how to do, here we are coming to you on your mobile screen and giving you workouts on a daily basis. Now the best thing what you can do is actually just go ahead and do it, because all this while in the last 4 months, for all the lockdown that has happened, when we have been working out with our members all this while, well, one thing that all our members have said, that they have really got this positive vibes or the positive energy to start the day, which is very, very important. A lot of times we end up overthinking, we end up having a lot of thoughts coming to our mind with this kind of scenario which we are already facing through, the kind of crisis that we are facing through. And these things really help you to keep yourself energized. They really help you to allow your happy hormones to flow all the time, and they keep building positive thoughts for you. So make the most of this and keep us posted on what you're doing, so we know what kind of activities can be done, or how we can also help you to further take this program to the next level. Okay, so we have one more question. Is there any exercise we can do while standing to correct our spine? Well, yes, of course, why not? I mean, okay, let me explain you. Just one more question we have. Thank you. Okay, can we stand once, Deepak? Okay. So थोड़ा सा पीछे जाओ और sideways खड़े रहना. Sideways. Now you can see this is a normal posture. Okay, look this side. Okay, let me just help you explain this question. This is a question by Nalini, where she's asking me, is there any exercise we can do while standing to correct our spine, or for straightening our spine? So yes, see, a lot of times, let me tell you what happens. Most of the time we actually never engage our abs. Okay, we never to engage our abs, especially when we are standing. That's because the moment you start getting overweight, the first thing that you see is your tummy which is coming out. Okay, and then this is basically because your abdominals have become weak, and your back is also giving up giving up the work. So that exaggerates your that kills up your lordosis, and your spine becomes all the more straight. Okay, so now when you're in this position, so you don't tend to kind of use your abs at all. So the best way of doing this is tucking your tummy in, okay, and trying to stand tall as much as possible. Okay, feel as if you are gaining height. Okay, what you need to do is the exercise which you did when you're lying down and trying to straighten. What you do is you basically tuck your tummy in. You get from your umbilicus, you apply pressure and try to put down. Now the same thing you will do when you're standing. This is your umbilicus. Okay, and what you do is you put the pressure down towards the lower back. Okay, and try to stand tall as much as possible. This will allow you to have a straightening or improving the spinal curvature. Now you may feel that this is like a military pose, and it's very difficult to make up this position, because most of the time when I teach this position to my patients, this is what they tell me. But let me tell you, this is just a normal way of contracting your abs. We are all born, and we are all meant to do this ideally to get a good posture, and a lot of people actually do it. So it's all about getting this. How frequently can you get that? And the best part is having a feedback for that. The moment you see yourself with a bad posture, and I'm not saying this is going to remove your tummy altogether. Okay, no. It's all about how effectively are you using your abdominal contraction. Okay, the sad part is that we are not able to see it, but the moment you start contracting, you yourself will feel, and you don't have to hold your breath at all. There's no need to hold your breath. Even when you hold your abs in the right way, you will be still able to do that. Okay, so can you just show me, Deepak, once more? If you can just, yes, stand straight. Just let your tummy go out. Yeah, tummy बाहर निकालो, relax करो, loose कर दो, हाँ loose कर दो. Now see, this is the position where there is no contraction of abs. Okay, and this is how we normally do it most of the time. When there is no contraction of the abs, if you see the pelvis also always tilts anteriorly. This is because this is the compensation. Your spine is exaggerated so much that your pelvis has to come forward. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to tilt my pelvis backwards. Okay, and then when I contract my abs contraction, yes, as I'm contracting my abs, it is not just the contraction of the abs but the straightening of the spine further and the posterior tilting of the pelvis that happens. So this is the correction that we expect to improve the posture, and this is very, very important. So just make sure that you guys try and do that. Okay, any more questions we have? If you have any more questions, yeah, okay, so thank you so much. Hope you all had I have one more question from just a minute. When I raise my hand it shakes, which exercise is good? Well, if you raise your hand and it is shaking, it means there is a little bit of weakness in your hand and you need to do some strengthening. Strengthening can be done by simple TheraBand workouts or a little bit of weights that can be done, but don't just start with end range. Okay, when you are doing strengthening, first your focus should be all the activities which are in line with the shoulder below 90 degrees. Don't just start doing these activities at the above 90 degrees, because your shoulder has a very good range of workout. Okay, but the problem is that you cannot start strengthening with the end range, because that will make the exercise very, very difficult. So you always have to start with what is the available range with you. Use your weights, use TheraBands, use pulley workouts, all kind of things that you can do, and try to strengthen your flex. You try to strengthen your biceps, triceps, do some basic movements of shoulder till 90 degrees, and once you are comfortable with that, then only progress to going up. Okay, basically it is just clearly because of weakness that you have in your shoulders when you're raising your hand up. Okay, hope I've answered your question. Thank you so much guys for watching, and I'm sure we'll have more and more people following the My Wellness Hub and complete this challenge. For all the members in the webinar group, I hope we have added value by giving you an idea about what exactly is this workout all about and what exactly do we do. It's important to know what exactly do we do. So yes, thank you so much for joining guys, and see you on Monday for our regular workouts. And for all the people in the My Wellness Hub, in case you have not registered till now, go ahead and register. The link is drsudarshan.co/wellness, which is also available on the top of the page, where you can clearly see the link and all the details of the program. We have been posting weekly plans. We have been doing live workouts with you, because we surely and we are very, very keen to ensure that we intend to give you a good workout in this time of crisis, and make sure you make the most of it. So all the best, and keep us posted about your progress and feedback. Thank you so much.